Hello, welcome back to another video on Vedic astrology. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the Jupiter transit that happened on 14th of July 2015. Every year, Jupiter moves from one sign to another, and this time Jupiter has moved over from Cancer into Leo, from Karakataka to Simha Rashi. This video is applicable to all those people who have their moon over this particular point. This 30 degrees of the zodiac is known as Scorpio, Vrischika, where you can see the symbol of the scorpion behind, and you have your moon either on this side, in which case your nakshatra is Vishaka, and if it is over here, then your Anuradha nakshatra, and if it is here, you are a Jyeshta nakshatra person. In your horoscope, you will find the moon over here. So let's place it right in the middle. Now, before the Jupiter transit happened, Jupiter was in your 9th house. How do we count the houses? You count from the moon. It's not done from the ascendant, so do not use the content of this video and apply it on your lagna. It will not work, because whatever I'm going to tell you about this transit is based on classical textbooks, especially Phaladipika, which was written with a view that you are studying the transit only from the moon. Why is the moon so important? The moon is very important because the moon rules your mind. That's the main reason, because most of our actions have come from our thoughts, and these thoughts are all in the mind. So you cannot dismiss off the moon sign as not such an important reference point in your horoscope. It definitely has a great role to play. Another important aspect is that you're right now going through 7.5 year Saturn, because you're right in the middle of it, because Saturn is right over your moon sign. When Saturn was here, your 7.5 year Saturn started, and then it's right now over here. Saturn spends 2.5 years in each sign, so this 2.5, another 2.5, and the last 2.5. During such times, the transit of Jupiter becomes very important, because there is already a challenge in your life, because Saturn is causing Sade Sati. So now let's look at what happened in the transit. Jupiter moved over to this sign. If you want to get the picture clear, let's introduce the house numbers so you'll know what are the house numbers from, of course, considering from the moon. So let's number the houses. Let me click this. So we got it here. House number 1 is this. This is only based on your moon sign and not your ascendant. Now you can see Jupiter has entered the 10th house. The 10th house is an unfavorable house. So there are certain things that you should expect if Jupiter is in the 10th. First of all, it is declared as being unfavorable, because Jupiter in the 10th always is related to a lot of pressure in your professional life, your career, position, status in your career. And there's also, Phaladipika says, danger to property, and also some pressure or concern due to children. This is the specific results of Jupiter being over the 10th house. But there are other aspects. For example, Jupiter is all about education, school, college. In all these places, you will have much more tension and challenges. You'll have to be very careful with your teachers and professors, because Jupiter represents the gurus and teachers. And you also should be careful with your money, the financial matters in your life, investments, because Jupiter is about money and banks. Jupiter is related to your children, and there will be a lot of concerns with regard to your children, but not necessarily that it is bad, or you don't have to consider that way. There'll be high level of concerns. That's the point. During a time when you're going through 7.5 year Saturn, and then Jupiter is also not favorable, then together they can give you a lot of problems. So throughout this 1 year, it is better to be extra careful in whatever you do and say. Think twice. Do not jump to conclusions. Look for consultants, teachers, astrologers, and all those people who guide you. Look for a good lawyer in case you are having some problem with the court, which is quite often the case when people go through 7.5 year Saturn. Do not miss your prayers to God on Thursdays whenever Jupiter is badly placed in transit. Because you are also going through 7.5 year Saturn, it will be a good idea if you do all the Saturn remedies. The remedies that are related to a bad transit Saturn has already been done in my previous videos. Please search them out on YouTube and do as many Saturn remedies as possible. Another important aspect is you will have to look into your Jupiter Ashtakavarga chart over this particular sign. How many points did Jupiter get? It can be anywhere from 0 to 8, and the midpoint is obviously 4. And if the score is greater than 4, then you don't have to worry so much about this Jupiter transit. But if it is 0, 1, 2 and 3, then surely you will have to do all the remedies connected to Jupiter and take all the precautions. If as per your Lagna, Jupiter is already declared as a functional malefic, then it will be a very good idea to give away a lot of yellow items, do charity of the yellow items, offer yellow flowers to God. All this can help a lot because Jupiter is related to yellow. You can spend some time on Thursdays or even Saturdays teaching people who have less knowledge. Whenever it comes to transits of planets, you should always keep an eye on this table. So here you will see the blessing house of Jupiter and the blocking house of Jupiter. The blessing house is when Jupiter comes to your 2nd, the 5th, 7th and 9th and 11th from your moon sign. It is auspiciously placed. This does not apply to you, but let me describe this table so you'll understand what I'm trying to say. If let's say you're having Jupiter in the 9th, and then whenever planets come in the 10th, it will block the good results. So this time, the same rule applies when you're going through a bad transit as well. So here you can see that your Jupiter is right now in the 10th house. The reverse of this is whenever planets move in the 9th house from your moon sign in transit, then the challenges caused by Jupiter will be blocked. So the meaning of this is that you'll have to look out for during such times when planets are moving in your 9th house. During those periods, Jupiter, which was declared as being bad and challenging because he's in the 10th, will not be able to function that way. The planet that is blocking you will offer you the clue. If it is Mars, then Mars related things and people will try to block the bad results from manifesting in your life. If it is any other graha, if it is Saturn, of course Saturn will never be here this time, and if it is the Sun, Mercury or any of these planets, you will have to find the significations of the planets that move in the 9th house and look for solution through such people. Before concluding, I would also like to tell you that transits are not the only thing in life. When it comes to Vedic astrology, you have your dashas and bhuktis, and more important is the fact that you have a unique horoscope which may permit certain things to happen in your life and will not permit certain things to happen in your life. So that is actually the main point, how your horoscope is, and what is not indicated in your horoscope will never happen during any transit or any dasha bhukti. Another point is that you'll also have to give a lot of importance to the dasha and bhukti that you're going through at this point in time. If you're going through a very good dasha and bhukti, the contribution of Jupiter being in the 10th will be minimized, where you will not even feel the effect of Jupiter being in the 10th. But of course, you can always say that I wish Jupiter was also in a better house in transit because I'm going through a good dasha and bhukti. That's something that you'll have to consider. You should maintain your own diary and watch out for results on Thursdays because Jupiter always works on Thursdays. And during the star days of Guru or Jupiter, whenever it is Punarvasu or Vishaka or Purvabhadra, and whenever the date is 3, 12, 21 and 30. During these times, which is called the Jupiter time, if you feel a lot of pressure, then using that clue, you should increase the dosage of your prayers and remedies to Jupiter on the same days. Do the remedies on the same days. So I'd like to tell you that despite Jupiter being in a bad sign, you don't have to worry as long as you consider doing the remedies and if you're very careful throughout this 1 year. My best advice is do not invest in any property during this time. Unless, of course, your dasha and bhukti is just showing the opposite. Thank you so much for watching this video, And if you have any doubts, please type them out in the comment section, and whenever I find the time, I'll answer them for you.